Yeah.
It doesn't have to happen. But it was something before Alan was on this, me and him and Liz and Connie and Ken worked on. So, yeah, it was.
Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dearborn County Board of Commissioners meeting November 8, 2023. If you please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a recipient of federal funds and in support of Dearborn County's efforts to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all citizens, the county gathers statistical data regarding participants in county activities. Therefore, we have provided a voluntary Title VI public involvement survey at this meeting. You are not required to complete this survey. However, the form is anonymous and will be used solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and ADA.
Thank you, Andy. And seeing there's no new old business, we'll go directly to new business, and that would be the recognition of Skip Stutz for the years of service for 911. So if you please come up. Where'd she go?
She's putting it in the front.
Oh. Okay. It is, let's go down here. Are you gonna take a picture?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Skip, it is my pleasure and honor to present you with this plaque for the, is it 40 years? 40 years. 40 years of service for 911 to the county of Dearborn. Thank you very much.
No problem.
We don't want need the wide angle one.
Yeah. All right, let me do another one.
We've lost a lot of years of experience this year.
Yeah. Trader, new one.
Well, the only use. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, update on election, Wendy Beatty, the clerk of court.
First one, don't mess up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we had city elections yesterday. Everything went great. We had no complaints, no problems. Only problem I had was I had to take some stickers to Agri Hall because I forgot I voted stickers and the second voter was complaining. So I ran some over there for them. So, we had a total of 9,529 registered voters for the 3 cities. The total ballots cast was 2,331. Of those, 777 were absentee, which were the mail ballots or the ones that walked in to do absentee. So the voter turnout was 24.46%. I don't foresee any recounts, and I was out of here by 10 till 8, so went very smoothly.
Great. Any questions?
City is paid for this election, is that right?
That is correct. How they determine that is they determine the total number of voters cast in the election, and then they do as a percentage. It breaks it down to a percentage for that city based on the number of voters that voted in the city.
It was great that you were out that early, shocked to see the results on Eagle by 7 o'clock. Thanks to you and your staff, and particularly the workers that came out and supported that a little bit of a boo-hoo to the voters, the 75% that failed to make it to the polls. Um, And probably congratulations to the winners, and thanks to all of the candidates. They're giving us a choice is what makes the system work. That's all I've got. Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Goodman.
Just thank you and thank your staff, appreciate it.
Sure will.
Yep.
Did you have any trouble getting poll workers?
Actually, my poll workers this time were full, with the exception of one that had to call out at the very end that had to go to the hospital. But I didn't have a lot of problem, but I didn't have many poll workers. Next year
Yeah.
is going to be a little different, because I will need extra poll workers, so.
Okay, how many do you anticipate for next year?
Poll workers?
Yeah.
90, over 200 probably.
200?
Cause you're gonna figure that you're gonna need at least 4 to 5 polling stations per vote center, and that's double, so you gotta double that because you gotta have a D and an R. So that's just 8 people just to run the poll books. Then you gotta have your judges out there to help them.
Okay. Well, just as a comparison, when I was chairman, I had to get 138 people for how many precincts?
45
precincts.
Yeah.
And now we're.
Well, it may not be that high.
Okay, let's hope not.
Yeah.
It just seems like.
I just know that we added 2 more vote centers, so.
Oh, you added 2 more votes?
Yes, we're gonna have the current, location in Greendale that we use for city elections
Yeah,
will be a permanent location,
okay.
as well as a second one in Bright,
Okay, where's the second one in Bryce?
the Christian church. So we got Dearborn Hills,
Right.
at the end of North Dearborn,
Oh,
and the
okay,
Christian,
okay. Yeah, okay.
which I hope will alleviate the long waits in Bright that we had 4 years ago.
Right, correct. So, I'm just thinking, it was difficult for me to get 138 for this precinct, and you have to get upwards of 200. Better start early.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Debbie on that task immediately.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
Okay, update Director of the Aurora Public Library, Leslie Sutherland.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
I just wanted to take a moment to, I haven't been in front of this group. I started this position, Leslie Sutherland, I started this position as the Director of the Aurora Public Library in April 2022, and have been off and running. I worked at South Dearborn Schools, for 26 years, in Indianapolis before that. This was just a great opportunity for me, to kind of jump ship from, school librarianship to public librarianship, especially because I have a disabled son who requires some, a little more flexibility than the school schedule kind of allows. But I grew up in Dillsboro, and I've lived most of, my life in southeastern Indiana, so, I'm very thrilled to be able to give back. The Aurora Public Library District has been really busy while I've been there. Part of our mission is we help promote materials, services, and programs for the communities of our districts. We have 7 districts that we represent at Aurora, so they're in the southern portion of the county. One big change we went through this year was we partnered with Lawrenceburg also, and we all have went fine-free in Dearborn County. So we are no longer charging late fees. Part of the impetus of this is we don't need the funds that come from fines. We are well supported in the community. We have riverboat, revenue. But we also, I feel that there are so many opportunities where people, when they do get a late fee, they stop coming to the library. They stop utilizing our resources. So the fine program has been pretty popular throughout the country, really. We're kind of late in making the change. But for example, I was in the grocery store and I had a former student at South Dearborn who said, "Oh, Ms. Sutherland, I returned my books, and will I have any late fees? And I said, I don't know if you're at the grocery store, but I'll look, and no, she had dropped it off, but she has not been back to our library for years, because she has had a book missing, and there were heavy late fees. She had the book, right, but she didn't or couldn't pay for the late fees, so now she can come back and be a regular user at the library. So I think it'll be very successful and well-liked throughout, all of our patrons, and I'm hoping we'll get back patrons that maybe we have lost.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What do you do when somebody starts building their own book collection?
I was wondering that too.
Right, they have to pay for lost books. State Board of Accounts requires us still to charge for lost book fees. So if they don't turn in a book, and it's over $20 is our limit, they can't check out anything else. So that still remains. But it's the 10 cents a day that adds up to $5 or for DVDs. So that they can keep that item, of course, let's say they're just gonna keep it, but they're going to lose access, and they'll still be charged for that book. It is
If I keep a $20 book,
Mhm.
do you send me a notice at 90 days and say,
Our lost book procedure has not changed.
okay,
The lost materials is still required by State Board of Accounts. We still have to hold people responsible for materials that they don't return.
okay.
So we still have a procedure of, we do 2 different notices where we call, then we send 2 letters, so we still have that process. That still remains. It is just the late fee portion, that 10 cents a day is the problem. So an example of a former student, she didn't lose the book, she has the book, but she never brought it back because she knew she wasn't gonna be able to check out anything else, because she would have to pay her late fees. And as much as, I've never really mind paying late fees, I've been a library supporter, my feeling was I was willing to pay the late fees because I do think it went to a positive thing, it would just buy more materials. But I think for the larger population, they can't or won't. It also penalizes, in many cases, our young patrons who may have come from families that are displaced, transient, they go through a lot of rentals, and then those kids whose accounts are already flawed, by the time they come to us as adults, they are already facing, they still have late fees attached to their accounts. So this really opens it up so they can maybe keep coming back to the library. But Lawrenceburg and I, Jake Moore and I spoke about this before, and we both kind of worked together to create policies. They're not exactly the same, but, and we rolled it out in September at the same time. So now all of Dearborn County is fine-free. So, we also have been, as far as materials, we have started a Library of Things program. It will kick off January 1. We had a staff member, Kim Batchelor, die the first week I worked at the library. And Kim was a wonderful person and also caring, and was a big baker, cooker. So we had a very large memorial that came in from her services, and I asked the family if I could kick off the Library of Things with this memorial money. And they were thrilled, because what it is I think Lawrenceburg already has it, but we bought, for Kim's money, we bought a lot of baking pans, for example. If you may not be as familiar, but if you want to make a cake for your child that's a theme, like a tractor or a unicorn, the baking pan might be $20. Well, you can loan it from the library for free. We're also looking at craft items. We're hoping to add in a sewing machine. We've got glue guns. We've got neckties already that are for people who might be going to job interviews. And these things will be available for loan from our library. So that's, we're hoping to kick that off in January. And that has its own policies too, that will for instance, the late fees may still exist a little bit for the Library of Things, and certainly the lost items would. And people who don't return things would lose access. But universally, I would say libraries who have opened up Library of Things have had a more positive response than negative. We have in Aurora tons of, specifically in Aurora, kids, we have a lot of renters, we have a lot of new homeowners, and those people don't often have the space or the funds to have some of the things that they might want to use or need. So we're hoping to supply that in our library of things. We also, for that program, we also have just recently purchased dementia kits. So, we have a lot of items that can be checked out with families who are care providers for a family of a loved one who has dementia. These would be, like one kit focuses on dogs, another one on handyman. And it might have puzzles, it might have photo cards, it has things that will help improve conversation with that loved one, might remind them of times in the past that they had positive experiences. So, I'm hoping that could be a huge support too, that families can find help in the library with that. We also have expanded our services. We do allow mobile printing. So we have a lot of people who no longer log into our computers as much as bring in their own device, or they have something on their phone like a ticket or registration paper for health insurance or something like that, and they just want to get it off their phone and print it. So we did introduce mobile printing that allows that to happen. We have also invested in a book bike. We want a bookmobile, but the bookmobiles once you sign the papers, it takes 18 to 24 months to secure, which we are willing to do. But in the meantime, a book bike is an e-assist bike. So when you're pedaling, it helps assist you, because in the front of it, it looks like an ice cream cooler almost, and the top of it opens up, and you can take books to check out, you can take books or items to give away, but we're hoping to increase some of our outreach stops right now at Dillsboro, and maybe visit the senior living center, meet kids after school at Heritage Point, be up at the fair. We are planning on being at the hometown Christmas with that item, and just, it's a great way it's a novelty, but it allows us to easily bring materials into the general public who might not be coming through our library doors. So that arrived kind of late, so we did ride it in the Aurora Farmers Fair Parade that came in September. So we're really hoping to kick off that outreach plan when the weather warms in the spring. We have spent quite a bit of time, one thing we're lacking in the Aurora Public Library District is meeting space. I think one thing we need to strive for is to improve places where people can work independently or with small groups. We have a lot of social workers who use our space, who talk out loud with their clients about personal health issues, finances, and all of those things. I would love to be able to have more of a private little place that they could work in which would allow some privacy, or clubs to meet, or organizations to meet. So the Train Depot at Aurora, the library bought that some years ago, and it has been a library, but it wasn't really able to be much more than that. And then sadly, my staff member, Kim Batchelor, who died, was the main employee at that, along with Roy Lambert. We closed that space in the summer of 2022 to get it painted. We had some repair work that needed to be done, and we also had some furniture made. We have mobile tables that can be flipped up, rolled out of the way. We have mobile cabinets that can be pushed back. We are striving to make it a user-friendly library space, but also a lecture room, meeting room, a classroom. We purchased some laptops and Chromebooks. We've already been doing senior computing classes, and I like that space a little bit better because it's more private than like the Aurora space. You have to give lessons right out on the main floor, and for people who may be insecure about some of their computer skills, this provides a little more intimate location for that. So we are working on the depot still. It's got some roof. The clay tiles were repaired some years ago, about 2010, and those seem to be holding up, but there's something, we're working with an engineer right now to develop some plans to get bids to repair the fascia board, the soffits, which are all kind of, they're being, something's causing them to be wet, and the paint support peels, the wood's rotting, and we'd like to, it is part of our historic district, so we would really like to make it a showcase if we can, with this, it was the best way possible. So, and we want to install a handicap ramp. So those are all future plans, to make the depot a little bit, a better annex of our main library in Aurora. We have also, for our services, one priority that for me was digitization of records. Our board records, which are supposed to be digitized in the state archives, back to 1900s, were never sent to the archives. So we did get our board documents scanned and microfilmed. I know you don't now have to necessarily do microfilm, but this all was in the works before that changed. And but we will have all of our board documents digitized and available. We will have all Aurora yearbooks. Those have been digitized and will be available for free through Family Search, which we can assist patrons with. We have also digitized the newspapers that we have had on microfilm. So now we went through a company called newspapers.com, which was free, which would allow people to access our newspapers within the library walls for 3 years. After 3 years, the embargo from that company is lifted, and then our patrons will be able to access remotely. However, there's such a need. I have calls multiple times a month about people who want access to yearbooks or other newspapers. So we have also contracted with newspapers.com or newspaper to provide digital access to our newspapers, at least during that the embargo time period. So that's been a big improvement in service. Programs, we went back when I took over, we had no programming, no children's story time, we had no lecture series, no programming at all. So we are back full force. I have a person who heads up our preschool programming. We have a person dedicated to tweens. We started an after-school program at Dillsboro where kids ride the bus to the library after school 1 day a week, and we have activities ready for them. We have a teen librarian who has been helping with gaming and other fun programs to try to bring in our teenagers. And we have 2 people really focused on adult programming. We've got book clubs, craft programs, informational programs that we have been providing. So really trying to add that educational element in our community and support those individuals. So one most recent thing we're doing is the Dillsboro branch has had low attendance. We did receive the grant, the land from Dallas Ross, which was a huge blessing, but it lacks road frontage, and it's also not really on the main drive to Dillsboro. So I think all that contributes to kind of low usage, and I have people who move into Dillsboro and they've been there for 3 years who say, oh, I didn't even know we had a library. So I would really, I feel like a lot of the space there could be better utilized. Our Aurora branch is delightful. I mean, people stop on the street and they come in because they just want to look at the library. We don't have necessarily the same reaction as Dillsboro, but I would like it to become that. So we have started working with KRM architects who are developing plans for us that we may adopt to renovate the space at Dillsboro. There's a great basement, but I think it could be utilized along with our local history room. We could also add in a children's section down there and bathrooms, so that we can, and a meeting room that's in the basement. I would like to, because we want to get a bookmobile, I want a garage attached, and it is a priority for our board. They don't want just a pole barn. They would like it to be something that looks attached to the library. So that may be a little bit of an extension of the building, and that will allow us to add meeting rooms there. We don't have any private meeting rooms. We don't have a small conference room. So we would like to be able to provide those items for our patrons who can come in and do the same thing I want them to be able to do in Aurora. So those are things that are on the horizon. Do you have any questions for me?
Do you work with solid waste folks out on 50?
We have.
For their craft?
Yes. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, they can support both of your libraries.
Yes, we do utilize, my children and tween people definitely utilize that program quite a bit. We contact I've lost the name of the person, but she even picks out stuff for us, and my staff just has to drive through the drive-through and pick it up. But yeah, it's a great resource. Other questions?
Thank you, Leslie.
Okay, well, thanks so much for your support, and for your appointments. You have Jack Sutton and Angela Burkhardt, is who I mentioned those, but they've been great additions to our board, and we appreciate their cooperation.
Thank you. Okay. County Engineer, Mr. Todd Liston, and federal funds for bridge number 14. How many bridges do we have, Tom? How many? 100?
Nice round number.
100?
Nice round number.
Okay.
Todd Lister, County Engineer. What I'm here for, is to ask, for approval to seek grant funding for the replacement of Bridge 14 Bells Branch Road. There's a federal call that's out presently. We have 14 bridges presently that need to be replaced. This is one of those on that list. Through our procedure, since this is a reimbursable grant through the state, would be an 80-20 reimbursable. I need to go ahead and get approval from council or from the commissioners, and then I'll go next Tuesday at the council meeting, get their approval to sign the grant form, so I can go ahead and request those, or submit that application for funding.
Okay.
Right now, the estimate is, for that project, is $2,425,000, of which, if it's a true 80-20, for everything, it'll be this county at $485,000.
Okay. Any questions, Rick?
No.
No. Where is Bridge 14?
Bells Branch.
Where?
Bells Branch Road, which is a very southwestern corner of the county. This bridge is just south of the Thumb Hollow intersection.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, Thumb Hollow intersection. Okay, it's out by Farmers Retreat.
I love where we live.
Caesars Creek Township.
Cedar Creek Township.
All right, well, Mr. Probst, motion to approve the request for grant for federal funds for bridge number 14 for Mr. Todd Listerman as presented.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I need, secondly, I got a late arrival. Last Friday, we received,
Or do you get it back?
I gotta get commissioners or council to sign it out.
That's right.
Yep, the council next Tuesday, and then Connie, you're gonna be in the council meeting, correct?
Yeah.
You'll sign at the council meeting, to witness that both of them sign.
That's fine.
Last Friday, the county was awarded $1 million in, community crossing matching grant funds for paving. With that, the application this year, normally I was able to get everything within, we do asphalt paving with it, or county roads. But because of the categories the roads were in this year, I actually had to do 2 separate applications, okay? One of the applications was for, $848,000, and the other one was for $152,000. What I'm asking for today is approval to combine our 2 applications into one contract and one agreement with NDOT. So basically, we got 2 awards. We're gonna combine them into one NDOT, DEVS number, and then one contract to bid. So I'm not bidding 2 separate contracts, we're bidding one contract, which will get better prices, as well as it'll make the paperwork and the agreements. There'll only be one agreement that you'll sign, Jim, electronically with NDOT, for the $1 million.
Okay.
So I'm just asking for approval to combine the 2 applications into one project.
To combine the awards into one contract to submit to NDOT.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Just need your signature there. being said, I've approved done the final, reviews and approval of the updated PAMP for 2023, so that can be submitted, and it has to be in by December 1st, so we can get our, qualified for community crossings again next year. So that should be submitted, early next week, through our consultant, HWC, that handles our PAMP update. So we should be in pretty good shape, and once that's done, I will give a quick presentation, at our December meeting in the morning to give you an update on how we are progressing, where in the last few years you can see where, the amount of poor roads have decreased over the past, cycle. So we are making improvements on trying to upgrade our roads. I know sometimes there's a lot of roads out there that need to be done, but percentage-wise, we are making a slow gain on that. It just,
So how much money did we receive last year?
$1 million, just under $1 million.
Oh, just under $1 million?
Just under $1 million. What happens is, I have to estimate, so I estimate, and then you don't actually get to the bids. The actual bids this past year came in lower than we expected. So instead of being $1 million, it was 980-some thousand, because the estimate actually came in lower than.
Okay, but it's been like $1 million every year.
Correct, basically, millions max we can get.
My question is, they give us $1 million, but the cost of materials have gone up. Why shouldn't that go up?
Well,
that came
no,
up-
that's good, because we are working,
That came up
Andy, and
last
we are
year.
working with our legislature to see if that $1 million max grant can be up because of inflation.
Representative Linus asked last year what would be things that you could change.
Okay, it only makes sense. I mean,
And Todd, so I asked Todd, he said the exact same thing, if the total, the max amount could be.
So if we could get, if the max award per municipality right now, by law, is set at $1 million. We've asked legislature to see if they could up that to 1.2 million or 1.5 million.
or a percentage of increase based on inflation.
Correct. But that's,
Well, there's a summer study group out of the legislature on the roads.
yeah, but I mean, that's something that we've talked to our representatives,
Okay, it's all I have to know, because it doesn't make sense to me if you get $1 million a year. It sounds really great, $1 million. But then you look at the cost of materials, you're actually getting less money.
correct. I mean, that's something.
Okay,
we're
I'm
working on.
glad.
We are trying to get the legislature, but that is a legislative change that has to be made.
Well, understood.
Lastly, just to give you a quick update, I held three pre-construction conferences on 3 different projects, throughout the county. 2 of them are bridges. The first one is Bridge 72, which is over St. Peter's Road, which is Duncan Robertson is a contractor out of, Franklin, Indiana. They're expecting to be, field survey this week, and, they plan on starting that project on the 4th of December, so we'll be closing the road on December 4th, to build that project, and we'll build it over the winter. The next project is Bridge 32 with this North Hogan Road. That is Dave O'Meara Contractors. They're gonna get out and do their layout this week as well, and then start to get in there and do their, clearing the right of way. And they have some utility relocations that have to be done prior, so we're gonna let the utilities go ahead and relocate over the winter. And their plans are, sometime late March, early April, weather dependent, to do the closure on North Hogan. And lastly, is small structure 148, which is Hoosman Road, it's bounded by 262. That's gonna proceed the same way. That is, McAllister Excavating. They're gonna be doing the layout in the near future, get the right of way cleared, and then get the utilities relocated over winter. And again, do that road work starting, March and April, weather permitting. So that's just give you a quick update of where we are right now. And then I do have one other project, which is small structure 211, that I'll be going to council on Tuesday to seek funding for that small structure replacement. It's after our last bridge inspection, the priority time on that one was moved up. The plan's already done, we just finished securing the right of way, which we've been in battle with, as Andy well knows. So we're gonna try to get that one let sometime in December. Hopefully we'll order it at the end of December or early January, and, get that one built sometime next summer as well. So, we should have a pretty busy spring and summer next year in construction.
I've had a lot of people complain about the bridge on Highland.
That one,
I asked you about that, you said, okay, we're
that's,
gonna ask for funds in, I don't know, what, 2024, 2025?
well,
Nothing would
that'll be
happen
next
until
year.
2030.
That'll be next year. This project here, Red Velvet Branch, is 2030. Next year's call will be Highland, which will be 2030 or 2031. So Highland's the next in the list.
I haven't
Is
been
the
out
next
there,
one behind.
how bad is that? Because
Okay.
they complained a lot about that bridge.
It's just narrow.
So we're just.
Structurally, it needs to be replaced, but it's not, I mean, it's not imminently gonna fall down tomorrow, no, it is a narrow bridge. Part of Highland it's the bottom of the vertical curve, so, and it is narrow. So,
Okay.
if that is on the list to be replaced.
And structurally, it's sound, okay, is it passable by two cars or a single lane? Single lane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Same as this one down there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's scheduled on the list as,
Yeah,
that's the
no,
next
we-
one I'll ask for. Next year's call, next November, I'll be back asking for the grant letter for, Highland next year.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, a resolution to enter into an interlocal agreement with Ohio County, interlocal cooperation agreement with Ohio County.
Yeah, Connie, number for resolution.
Be 012.
012.
So yes, this is a resolution to enter into an interlocal cooperation agreement with, Ohio County. This has to do with, and I'll just explain what the interlocal is also. The circuit court, our circuit court is unique in that Judge Negengard's court oversees two different counties. And how it has been is that there are 7 total employees, 5 of them are Dearborn County employees, 2 of them are Ohio County employees. And the benefits offered to Dearborn County employees are different than the benefits offered to Ohio County employees. One example that I know of is that Ohio County only offers health insurance to their employees. They don't offer spouse or family plans. They only offer to their employees. So in an effort to keep a happy family in his office, the judge has proposed this. All of the employees in the circuit court will be Dearborn County employees.
Right now, they're paid half and half, and then we'll take on all the payroll,
Right.
so it'll be easier.
So they'll all be full employees of Dearborn County, and Ohio County will send Dearborn County $162,000.
But they'll remain in Ohio County.
They'll work interchangeably, just depending on what the court needs them to do.
Is he taking a portion here, down there? Is that what you're saying?
Some of them work part-time up here and part-time down there, because they're working also for the magistrate, and who's, Judge, Schmaltz is usually in Ohio County, but they still, it just really just depends on what their calendar is. But the girls in the office sometimes work up here, sometimes work down there. So again, all of the employees, then this will start in 2024, would be employees of Dearborn County. Ohio County would send Dearborn County $162,000, which, was a number that, Alan, when he was still on council, and Liz and Connie and Kim all worked on, and it constitutes, roughly a third of what the total cost would be, for all of them to be Dearborn County.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure what impact to Dearborn County was on this, that we're being compensated by the $162,000.
$162,000, this has already been approved by Ohio County Commissioners and Ohio County Council.
Okay, so there's no direct impact to the county based on this.
I mean, there is a monetary impact to the county taking on these employees full-time, but they are going to be sending us $162,000.
That's what I'm saying, is that 162, compensate for that?
Yes,
Okay.
if you trust Alan's math.
Well, I wasn't the only one. I was one. Spread the wealth.
So the first would be a motion to adopt resolution 2023-012, which is a resolution to enter into an interlocal cooperation agreement with Ohio County.
All right, motion, Mr. Probst, to approve, resolution 2023-012, as presented by Mr. Boddill.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then, with that approved, then you would do a motion to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between County of Dearborn, Indiana, and the County of Ohio, Indiana, regarding the 7th Judicial Circuit employees.
Okay. Mr. Goodman, motion to approve the interlocal agreement between the Dearborn County and Ohio County, Indiana, based on the 7th Judicial Circuit Court request. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
We have to do that every year, Andy?
I
mean, it expires
Yeah,
December.
this will be for 2024, and I think we did we remove the automatic renewal stuff because?
It says it terminates.
Yeah, so yeah, this will be a thing where numbers will need to be looked at on each end every year. So this would be something coming in front of you.
No, it's all.
Well, because we have COLA and all that kind of stuff too.
No.
Another page.
Yeah, you sign on the top.
There's two different,
Okay, didn't see it.
So, this will be on council's agenda for next week, and that'll be the last entity that we need to get approved.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. Okay. And then next, the quick claim deed for Panhandle Lot and Transfer from LMU, which we've been working on for how long?
So, I just hadn't heard whether or not, if you recall, it's probably been 2 months ago now, you adopted a resolution to transfer this property, and we were just waiting on Martinsburg to adopt a resolution to accept the transfer of the property. Sue did confirm with Martinsburg's clerk treasurer, Mark Fetty, this week or last week, that they did adopt the resolution. She just didn't tell us. So this is the quit claim deed, and again, this is the new Panhandle lot up at the hospital that Martinsburg has utilities on. We'll transfer everything to them, and then once the quit claim deed's executed, you'll sign it, and then Sue will notarize it. The quit claim deed and the resolutions would be recorded then.
So we have two things to take care of here?
Well, all you're doing today is approving the quit claim deed.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, motion to approve, Mr. Probst's quit claim deed for the Panhandle lot transferred to LMU.
so moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So we may get this done yet. All right, next on the list, the 2024 nomination to the OKI Board of Directors, and, we want to appoint Mr. Probst. Alan, if you make a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Commissioner Rick Probst to the OKI Board of Directors.
I second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Probst. All right, Ms. Hayden, do you have anything for us?
No.
Okay. Ms. Bottom, claims? Mr. Probst, motion to approve claims?
So moved.
Alan? Yeah. Motion carries. And just so you know, Alan, work reviews on this.
Yeah, I know.
you're gonna bring it in and record it, right?
Where
We-
is it?
Or is it, did they sign it?
Yeah, oh, it's
I didn't get that.
Do you want me to record it?
that's fine, it just needs recorded with our resolution and the city's resolution. Did Mark send you the city's resolution? Too? Mark, ready?
Just a copy though. I mean, do you need the original? Then you have a copy and everything on it. She won't record something. That's a copy that doesn't say copy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does he have redaction and all that on it, you know?
We still need to vote claims.
Should.
Motion
Yeah,
to
you put-
approve claims.
We had motion and second.
Oh, I said all in favor.
I missed that.
Didn't I?
I don't remember.
Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Motion carries.
you can review it on the tape.
Okay, yeah.
Approved them twice.
All right, payroll. I'm working with like a half a brain today.
Sorry, me too, because I'm confused here.
I'm not confused, I just don't have half a brain. Motion to approve payroll, Alan.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Probst. All in favor?
All right,
Motion carries.
so,
It all depends on how they roll.
Okay. And
Minutes for October 17th.
Mr. Goodman, motion to approve the meeting minutes note. Okay, guys, let me at least acknowledge what's going on. The Board of Commissioners minute meetings, Mr. Goodman,
So moved.
second.
all in favor?
All right,
Motion carries.
Andy, we won't need a disclosure with this, I don't think, right?
Which one?
The quick claim for the panhandle.
Sales disclosure form? We shouldn't now, because it's governmental. I just looked, the resolution we did didn't have the social security statement on it, but the resolution from Lawrenceburg does. So if you need, I can add,
So I've already recorded ours, so I already,
oh, okay.
if we've done it before, I'll have to look.
Okay, that's just let me,
Because I always add yours on there.
yeah, just let me know.
Okay, Mr. Biden, so you have anything for us?
Something that has come up on our last inspection last fire inspection was the issue with space heaters. Employees have been told that they're not to have space heaters. I don't know if it's still an issue, but, the Personnel Advisory Committee did think it would be beneficial to add language to the policies, Personnel Policies Handbook. So this would be an ordinance, do we have an ordinance number, Con?
009.
009, an ordinance amending subsection 5.14 of the Personnel Policies Handbook of Dearborn County. 5.14 governs appearance of work areas. The language to be added would be the use by employees of personal space heaters within any county-owned structure is strictly prohibited. Violations of this policy are subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination. So the county is subject to fines and whatnot. If
What, when is it, it's per day, isn't it? Like $500
it can
per
be,
day?
up to, yes.
I mean, and we've already been cited once, and then we cited a second time, they're not, the third strike, we're gonna be out. Okay. Motion to approve the, ordinance 009, to add to the employee handbook, the, space heater ordinance,
Prohibition.
So moved.
second.
all in favor?
All right.
Motion carries. All right, thank you, Andy.
And then I also have I sent it to you, I think yesterday, when we did the alley vacation in Yorkville, the property, that vacation was, the petition was Phil Darling. And, so So the ordinance that we drafted, or that you approved, this was in December of 2022, referenced the survey that showed the property going to the Darlings. But the auditor's office did ask Denny if we could get an affidavit from me, noting, because it's not specifically said in the ordinance that the property is going to the Darlings, it just references the survey. It's an affidavit to clarify that the property is to go to the Darlings. It's technically Philip M. Darling, trustee of the Philip M. Darling and the Anna L. Darling Family Trust. So I would, it would be signed by me, but I did want to get your approval on this affidavit to transfer vacated roadway. And then I'll give it to Sue so she can notarize my signature, and then if you could just give it to Denny, so that he can get it recorded.
All right, motion to approve the, vacated roadway.
Affidavit to transfer vacated roadway.
Okay, Mr. Probst, if you would.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else for us?
That's all, thank you.
Ms. Hayden, will you confirm what those penalties are and then send out an email regarding that issue? Send it to me first, so I can just take a look. Appreciate it. Commissioner comments, Mr. Probst?
A couple of things, just as a sales presentation, Royal Lions Club's having a Veterans Benefit Breakfast this Saturday from 7 to 11. It benefits the local veteran organizations. I can invite anybody that wants to show up and support that event. Secondly, this week has been declared Cold Weather Preparedness Week by Governor Holcomb and NDOT. It's an encouragement for people to prepare their vehicles for the hazardous weather, wiper blades, blankets, safety equipment. The snow is coming, I don't care what the internet says, we should get ready. That's all I've got.
Mr. Goodman, you have anything?
I have no comments.
Okay. Well, thanks for that weather report, Rick. I'm looking forward to any snow. I don't have any comments either. Is there any later route more information? You have anything?
Yeah.
All right, Steve? Okay.
Yeah,
This is-
All right, so what I'm here today, to request is the approval on grant applications, from, the grant would be from a community bridge, which is ran by, Tamara Taylor, which is her nonprofit. I know you guys are probably aware, in September, they had a really nice event at the, covered bridge, I believe in Guilford is where that covered bridge is.
That's right.
Where there was a really nice fundraiser for the JCAP program and for Dearborn County Court Services. That money has since been collected, and Ms. Taylor has submitted a grant application to Judge McLaughlin, so we can collect that money and use it for projects. So what you have here is 3 different applications, and Tamara, one of those done in smaller $10,000 increments. It's 3 $10,000 grant applications essentially. Project 1 would be, so currently, and in the past, we've worked with Indiana University on research on the JCAP program, where we collected a lot of quantitative data about the effectiveness of the program. Those research projects have been completed, but as a part of that research, we also want to do qualitative data, where we're getting stories from people who have completed the program the last 15 years or so. So Judge McLaughlin and Ms. Lindsay are wanting, Tish is the JCAP director, are wanting to do a video project where we go in and do some recordings and videos of people who have completed the program in the past and how that's affected themselves and their family. So the first grant application is just an approval for a $10,000 grant, to where we would have a video project for past JCAP graduates and kind of get some qualitative data about how that's affected them in a positive way moving forward.
The second one is, another $10,000 grant application, which is going to allow us to add a parenting program, to the JCAP program. And it would be, $10,000 total, with $2,000 into program development, $1,500 in materials, and then $6,500 in counseling services. And our plan with that is to partner with Community Mental Health to put on that, parenting program. It's probably gonna be like a weekly where they come in and do like a parenting class for the male and female, JCAP participants. And then our third project is a JCAP family outreach. So what, the judge and Miss Lindsay are wanting to do is have like a weekly or bi-weekly, meeting with families, who have been, affected by substance abuse in the community. We're really calling it a JCAP outreach for families, and we're gonna make sure that the JCAP families, people that are in JCAP, their families get to this program, but we're also just gonna have it like a community event. Anybody who's affected by substance abuse, can come every couple weeks, discuss things that are going on in the community, discuss some of the issues that they see, figure out resources on way to get help, and just talk to somebody who, Tisha Lindsay is a licensed clinical social worker, so she's very skilled in that area, and talk to somebody who can maybe give them some guidance on ways to get help. And it's a way that we can get some community outreach and make the community understand what we're doing here in Dearborn County, and some of the ways that we can help the people who are arrested, or maybe not even arrested, but just need resources and help. So today I'm asking for an approval on those three grant applications to be submitted.
Okay, question? Can we do all three of these at once, Andy?
Unless anybody wants to handle them individually.
No, I don't see the need for that. Okay, Mr. Goodman, motion to approve a request for a grant application for a total of $30,000 broken into three separate grants of $10,000 each, as presented by Mr. Steve Kelly.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I did have one question, I don't know, and I don't want to open back up the voting here, but on the heaters, so, this is just more for my staff, because I know as soon as they hear this, they're gonna be on me. So I just want to get some clarification on that. So with the Hoosier Square building, with Dearborn County Court Services, some of the heating components over there, different spaces are hot and cold. And I know particularly in the basement where community corrections is, it runs very cold in the winter because of the way those doors let in. So I know the staff down there use the heaters, but under this ordinance, we would not allow to have space heaters at all, right?
No, because if the fire marshal comes in and nips this, then that's gonna be a penalty every single day that's not followed.
And the fire marshal has already come in and said.
Lawrenceburg fire marshal's already come in.
Okay. So I just wanted clarification, so when I tell them and they're mad at me, I can say.
Have you talked with Eric at all about trying to maybe balance out the heat?
We've been there since, I don't know why I remember this date, but April 12th, 2012. I have no idea why. If you saw my old office, that's prior, I remember that date, but, it's been a battle with the heating and cooling since then, on and off.
Well, can you talk to Eric to see if there's anything he can do, and if he can't do, is there any kind of, heating system that we could put in that could resolve that issue?
I know right now what they do is you have kind of a battle with the thermostat where, like, one area is way too hot, one area is way too cold, so somebody will turn it up, and then a group will be, roasting, and then the other group will be freezing, and then they'll turn it down, mainly I just wanted to bring that up, so when I bring it up to my staff, and they get out the pitchforks, I can say, look, this is something we can't
Well, I'm not sure yet, but if we get next at $500 a day and it runs for
Right.
a week, that money's gonna have to come out of that person's budget, as far
Right.
as I'm concerned.
Right, I get it.
So, I mean, it's just a fire hazard. I've never worked in a office building where those were permitted because of those cords get hot.
Right.
Because of fire, so.
I get it, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
Make sure you check with him, see if he can do anything to help that situation.
All right, thank you.
And if it does require some kind of additional, heating system to compensate for that, then we need to know that too.
Okay, all right, thank you, guys, appreciate
All
it.
right, thank you. Okay, public comment, if anything? All right, Mr. Probst, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. You wanna hang out?